Welcome, OnePlus fans and tech enthusiasts. We hope you enjoy the keynote and are very excited to have you here at our OnePlus 12 Series Table Talk. First of all, forgive my Brazilian accent. You know, it's my Brazilian background. If I do any mistakes in English, please don't be that angry, okay? Well, we just have unveiled our newest device, the OnePlus 12 and 12R, featuring a blazing fast wireless charger and 4,500 nit brightness with 120 Hz screen, and for sure, the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, and so much more. But don't worry, we will discuss it all. But first, some introductions. Joining me here at the studio today, I have Ella and Jon. Ella.
Hi everyone, I'm Ella. You can find me on YouTube at Created by Ella. I make lots of videos there, but you can also find me on Instagram and TikTok.
Jon?
I'm Jon Rettinger. I wish I had a good name like Ella's online. I'm just Jon for Lakers. I've been doing tech videos since way before there was gray in my beard. You can just go to Google, put my name in there, find me on all the things. But I cover everything in the world of tech. And I even covered the original OnePlus launch, the OnePlus One back in the day.
Whoa, you are OG, man.
Minus the G a lot of times, you know.
So thank you both for being here with us today. Yeah. And everyone make sure to check their social handles to show your support. Go there, follow them, interact with them. They are definitely big creators, but you know, if you go there and follow them, we make even bigger. So help them, help us, help them.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
We have a quick disclaimer before we start. While Ella and Jon have been invited and compensated for their time here by OnePlus, the opinions they will express during our conversation are authentic and entirely their own. So they can say whatever they want anytime. You can stop me and really make questions, whatever you want.
And that's legit. I got questions that you don't know are coming yet.
That's going to be kind of funny.
I was saving them. We went through rehearsal. I kept them in my head. So we'll see these reactions kind of as we go.
Okay. Are you ready, Ella?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty ready.
Very ready.
With that being said, welcome to the OnePlus 12 Series Table Talk. Before we start with the questions and everything we're going to make it here, I want to announce that we'll be giving away 2 12s and 2 12Rs today. So we have the 12 here, right in my hand, and I have the 12R right here in my hand. They look a little bit the same when you see on camera, but we're going to explain a little bit more the differences and why we're bringing 2 flagships to US, North America market this time, which you're going to love it, I'm very sure. So for your chance to win, follow those simple steps. Step number 1, follow OnePlus_USA on Twitter. Step number 2, like and retweet or giveaway post. The image on your screen right now should guide you. Step number 3, post a funny screenshot of the keynote or of the live stream. And make sure to stick around to the end of this live stream, so you're going to see if you have a chance to win the 12 or 12R that is just coming to North America.
You're going to announce the winners on the stream, right?
Oh, yeah. So keep tuned, guys.
Right. Make sure you stay till the end.
Stay to the end so you know it. Come on, right? Don't get by surprise and let it go. Okay, all right. Now let's talk tech. Now is the best part of this live streaming. I love to do this, interacting with you guys. Yep. And the keynote was full of innovations and new features. Yep. The products are amazing. But we all know that people are excited about many aspects, but there's one aspect of it that I think, especially the tech people, the tech creators like you guys, have been requesting that for a while, and I think you are all right when it comes to a flagship device must have a wireless charging, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's something that we heard from the community as well. We heard their concerns, so we brought your wireless charging this time for the 12, and it's faster than some flagships wired charging. So let me repeat that, and some people hate this, but I'll put my powerful
Terminator glasses.
Shades, OnePlus shades, though, because listen to me, everyone over there. Last time when we did this live, I said, when we bring wireless charge, we're going to make it right. So our wireless charging is 50 watt. It's faster than the current wired brick charging when they send the brick. Faster than the brick charging, wired charging devices in North America. So wireless charging now will not only bring the wireless charging, but also is the fastest in North America, faster than the wired ones, which is totally bonkers in my opinion. So here we go. The first question to both of you. I know you have access to this device for a while. You are testing. You have the 12 in your hand right now, John. 12 and 12R with Ella. I bet both of you are having the battery and charging experience. I want you to talk a little bit about your battery charging, your battery experience, and also the wireless charging.
Sure.
Go ahead.
All right, so first, before I talk about battery, I just want to thank OnePlus for announcing a flagship phone that doesn't have the words Pro or Max somewhere in the title. All right, so battery. Battery's a big deal, right? I think battery and screen. The phone's got to last, and the screen's how you do everything with it. So, first of all, size of the battery matters, right? This is a win since where size matters. 5,400 milliamp hour battery is big, but also it's like the efficiencies inside the battery that are going to matter. So, charging it at 50 watts is nuts. And you can go back to all my OnePlus videos. I've reviewed every single phone. There's always been like a caveat in the video. Like, it's great, which wireless charging. 50 watt wireless charging, which is like 10% faster than what pretty much every other company has for wired. First of all, seems like you're fighting the laws of physics. And also, how is the phone not going to blow up? I mean, legitimately, like how's the battery not going to swell on a 50 watt wireless charger on a Qi 1 standard?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I can answer that very well. There's a lot of things we pack on the device to make sure it will charge with this 50 watt wireless charging, which is super fast. There's a lot of sensors on the battery, a lot of sensors on the processor area, motherboard, cameras, to make sure when it's charging, everything got in the right temperature.
Sure.
Not go, over the thing and keep everything like works great. But also, when it comes to the charging station, there is a lot of things we incorporate here, embedded here. So the charging station you are seeing here, I don't know if you can show here, that's the charging 50 watt wireless charging station. Let me move the cable here. So that charging station you're going to be able to buy on oneplus.com right now. It has on the bottom a fan. And that fan will blow air from this hole right here. So it's in between the device and the charge station. The charge station has two coils, one here, another one here. So you can definitely charge the device on the vertical position or on the horizontal position without losing any power. So it's a very nice charging station that also has sensors on it to check how the coils are performing, if they are getting too hot. So we reduce that speed a little and then increase again. But because we have this fan blowing from the bottom and make everything cool, it can charge the 50 watt wireless for a long period of time, so it'll be super fast for a longer time.
So I want to ask about that. How long can you get that 50 watt charging? Because obviously you can't keep 50 watts from 0 to 100.
Yeah, like it depends a lot. Today the optimal charging speeds are 50 watt for each battery cell. Those devices have two battery cells, so it's like going to 30. Yeah. It's an optimal kind of charging. So the 50 watt is a little stretch for that. Definitely if you have like 10% battery available, or if you have 15%, we'll charge way faster in the beginning. And then we will decelerate that and make like a little slow, but we'll keep around the 20 and 30, which is the optimal. So they're going to keep doing like this. But we can charge to 1 to 15, 20 minutes wireless.
Wow.
So that's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah. And the phone will like still stay cool on it.
Yeah, it will not fry your hands. Believe me. Yeah, some of our competitors, when you do the wireless charging, and we're going to do this thing here, they really got super hot because the coil get hot, the copper coil inside get hot, the battery got hot, and that make the device like super hot. But if you have the fan blowing, so you dissipate that. But that's not the only trick we have it. We have a vapor chamber, a huge vapor chamber inside the 12 and 12R. So both products has this incredible vapor chamber. Just to give you guys a sense on this camera, the vapor chamber is like almost the full size of the device. It starts here. I think Jerry Riggs Everything will show that today. And you're going to see it's like almost the full size of the device. The biggest and largest vapor chamber ever we had in a OnePlus device, and probably one of the biggest ever available in the market right now, which is crazy. I can talk about this vapor chamber for a long time, and we're going to cover more about it further on this live stream.
I know it sounds like a marketing thing, but the phones didn't get warm. we were recording 8K footage, like for a real long time. The phones.
I have to show this, guys. I have to show this because this phone right here, this phone in my hand right here. So they are showing right now the video, I guess. Yeah, I can see the video over there. You see how big is the vapor chamber, right? And it's a 3D printed vapor chamber, and we are 3D printers, like two vapor chambers together. And those 3D printers make different shapes of dots inside the vapor chamber, kind of making the vapor go faster, so it can dissipate faster the heat. So this device right here, this is the OnePlus 12. That's my device right now. And can you go closer here just to show something? Can you go here to this counter? I think people can check here. It's more than 2 hours recording in 8K right now. And I was recording when I get you guys today. I got you guys by the hotel, right? And I was recording already in 4K, 60 frames per second, HDR. And it was like already like an hour. And now it's 2 hours for 8K. And check that. The battery here, I don't know if you can get closer than that, but the battery here, now it shows 8%. So it was like an hour with 4K, 6 frames per second, and HDR, and now more than 2 hours doing 8K recording non-stop. Yeah. And the phone is a little bit warm, but not hot at all.
Yes, a weird question. Yeah. Let me feel your phone. I mean, yeah, it's warm. Like it's not.
It's warm, but it's 8K though.
But it's not.
2 hours straight, non-stop.
Yeah, but it's not hot. This feels like most phones, you take them off a wireless charger for about 2 or 3 hours right now. Like you wouldn't think much of it.
And that's all because of the vapor chamber. This huge vapor chamber, 3D printing, different dots that will make the vapor travels faster inside the chamber itself. This is amazing. That's how we can do that. So performance, not only for games, not only for the device itself, but for cameras on anything, take advantage of this vapor chamber being that large and being everywhere on the device.
Yeah, I mean, compared to my phone, which has been doing nothing, this is definitely warmer, but like it's still fine to touch perfectly.
Yeah, so, imagine.
Yeah.
Any camera, even professional cameras, if you put 8K recording, it's crazy. Get hotter. There's no way, right? So I'm going to stop recording now, and I still have 8% battery. More than 2 hours, 8K recording. That's impressive.
No storage space left, but plenty of...
We have plenty of storage, though. On the 12, we start on 256, which is really good. Yeah, come on. But definitely, like, I will have to delete that. Maybe it'll take a minute to delete it. Okay, so you have any last thoughts on battery? Do you want to highlight?
I mean, the wired charging too is 80 watts.
Yeah, that's really fast. And it's also on the OnePlus 12R, which is, the less expensive version. So I think that's really impressive.
Way less expensive version. Way less. This phone is the real flagship killer coming back. Some people get some of these distinctions, right? Why we're bringing two phones like this. I'm going to explain a little bit further so you understand why we're bringing two flagships this time and why the price is so different as well and what we have in mind when we're bringing those two devices to North America.
I know people don't generally think about the charging of their phones unless they need like the battery to go fast. But like if you look at like the electric car market, which I think is probably fair when you're comparing like charging, right? Look at the Tesla superchargers. Their V1 was like 60 kilowatts. It was fine. Then you had 120, and that was like faster. And you have 250. Now there's a version 4 coming, which is even faster. This is like a version 4 supercharging. 80 watts is insane to have enough. If you have 50 watts was nuts wireless. 80 watts is ridiculous. If you look at kind of what the other folks are doing, Samsung, the very capable and really good S24 Ultra, 45 watt max. That's a big difference. It might not matter every day, right? But there might be
it's almost a double, though.
Yeah. But like, if your phone is dead and you need to head out, like it can be really helpful.
It matters. The Pixel 8 Pro, I think, maxes out at 30 watts. I mean, so you're talking big jumps for charging. If that's something that's important to you, I mean, it's nice to have.
Yeah, but even though, right? Yeah. If you just compare 45 watts, like you mentioned from the Samsung, which is their wired charging, or wireless is 50.
I mean, it's pretty fast.
It's kind of crazy, right? So then we go to wired, it's like 80. And something that some people maybe they don't correlate it right away, we have huge batteries over there. Huge, like on the 12, it's 5,400. And on the 12R, because we have this extra room, there's no wireless charging on the 12R, it's 5,500, which is the biggest ever we use. And when we increase the battery capacity, you add more juice to it, having a faster wireless charging or wired charging make a lot of sense because otherwise it'll take forever to recharge it.
Yeah.
So having 8 watts charging on cables in such a big battery make a lot of difference from the time you are using, because we use this extra speed for longer, which means we'll charge it way faster than you could imagine.
With the 80 watts, you have to use the brick that comes in the box.
Correct.
Do you have to use the cable that comes in the box too?
Correct, because our cable is super thick. If you notice, and that's why, because the amperes...
It's a thick boy.
I hope I'm saying the right pronunciation of that. Yes, very, very thick. And that's how we use the SuperVOOC technology, to make very thick cable, make sure that energy flows really smooth to the device. And doing that, we make sure that you are having not only super fast speeds on charging, but very safe as well.
Makes sense.
That's cool, right? And the next thing I want to discuss with you guys is the screen. You know, like, screen is probably one of the most important parts we have on the device.
Yeah.
It's the window for all the content. And we pack those 2 screens. They are very similar on specs. They have 4,500 nits, which is crazy as peak brightness. It's crazy to think about that. But going further than that, putting a kind of screen that is like, Dolby Vision compatible, HDR10 Plus compatible. The resolutions are super high, 1.5K, 2K on the 12, 1.5 on the 12R. The screen size is a little bit different, but by small margin. So those screens are pretty much the same. And putting that screen in a flagship device is what everybody expects. But putting that screen in the 12R, which is a flagship killer device, that's really crazy. It's wild, right, to have that at that price point. So I'd like to hear your thoughts about that.
Yeah, I mean, the OnePlus 12R is $500, and there's even a trade-in deal, which we'll mention later. I mean, I think that's crazy, like, just how good the screen is at this price point.
I'm a screen snob. I've said it. I'm vocal about. I've embraced my inner bias. I've said it in videos over the years, and I think no matter how good a processor is, or how many vapor chambers are in a phone, or how fast it can charge, if the screen sucks, that's the experience with your phone. Your experience with the phone is going to suck. Your videos, your games, your text, everything is going to be a bad experience. So I think a good screen is like the bare minimum for a flagship. You have to have a good screen. If you don't have that, don't even come to the table. So there are a lot of things that I like about this screen. You'd expect it to be 120 hertz, right? You'd expect that from 120 hertz down to 1. That's like,
it's there.
That's your baseline.
Is it also there on the 12R?
Correct.
Yeah.
Both of them. So that's what I'm saying. They have very similar screens.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, LTPO does a lot of awesome stuff. What was surprising about this phone is the max brightness. I mean, 4,500 nits is nuts. And you look at every other phone,
it's like that 2,000.
Yeah, that seems like bright. You're like 2,500. That's insane. I mean, you could use these as like headlights on your car, put one on each side. But I do think saying 4,500 nits can be misleading, because you're not doing that all the time. You're not searing people's retinas first thing in the morning when they're turning on their phones. So when are people going to get 4,500? And is it just like one pixel getting super bright, or is it like what's the use case where we're actually going to see the 4,500?
That's a good point. Like those screens, they are brand new screens. They have new technology. Yeah. They go to the level of even one pixel can reach that 4,500. And the idea behind it is sometimes you just need a better contrast. You don't need the whole screen to be 4,500. Yeah. But if you need the whole screen, they will light up. Let's say you are under this very, brighter sun conditions. Yeah. You can't see the screen. With this one, you're definitely going to see it and going to pop up. So it depends how you use it. Can be the whole screen, can be a part of the screen, can be to the pixel level going that high. So it depends very much the conditions. The device will measure the conditions around you and will bring that kind of brightness where you need when you need it.
But so it's not just like a marketing term, like saying, it can go that bright, but like it's never really going to go that bright.
Oh, every time you are under the sun though, and if the sun is really like midday and you barely can read your device, if you go to this one, you're going to read it perfectly.
We'll say I've been using this for probably about 5 or 6 days. Took it out in direct sunlight and could very clearly see the screen. I took a bunch of pictures too in the middle of the day, and I live in Southern California, so it's bright.
Yeah.
And you could see what you're taking pictures of, which is pretty awesome. I don't know if people are going to think about the max brightness all the time, but they'll definitely know that they can always see their screen.
Yeah. That's the point. Like, it's not about reaching the 4,500. It's there.
Yeah.
It's a spec, right? But it's the smooth feeling that this will work no matter which condition. I will see what I have to see on the screen, no matter which sun condition, light condition around. So I think that's the direction we should pursue. That's what we are doing with OnePlus. We pack a lot of stuff on our devices. We pack a lot of AI on our devices. We pack a lot of hardware on our devices. We don't even mention sometimes because they are there just to make a better experience, a smoother experience for the end user.
Yeah. So it's like when you need to look at your map outside, you're not like squinting trying to see it.
Correct. And you're going to see it right away.
Yeah.
Right away, so not get lost, I hope.
But I think I'm like most people. Maybe I'm not. But I look at the specs of a phone when I buy it, and then I don't want to think about it again after that. Right? I want the battery just to last me throughout the day. I want it to be able to charge when I need it, and I want to be able to see the screen. Like, just do those things and do everything else fast. And I think what OnePlus has done is like a really good job with that. I don't know. I'm going to segue for a second here because I can say what I want.
You can say whatever you want.
I don't know if people here remember the original OnePlus One. I had a chance to check that out. That was really a flagship killer device. That brought a premium experience at a low price in kind of renegade way. It was running a ROM of Android. It wasn't even running stock Android. It was running Cyanogen at the time. And that's kind of OnePlus made their name. And I think now with the OnePlus 12, when you look at the specs, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, the 6.82 screen, the insane charging, the amount of RAM, and then a price point before any of the trade-ins starting at $800. OnePlus got back to that. I think maybe we wandered through the desert for a few years, and it's nice to see the flagship killer actually back. And obviously, compromises have to be made, right, to get to an $800 price point. But what that original phone did, it made the right compromises, I think.
Yeah, but it's hard to find compromises on the 12. On the 12R, there are.
Yeah.
Because the price point, we really demand that. But on the 12, it's hard to find.
There's very few. And you have a phone that is now competitive with phones that cost $1,100, $1,200. I'm sure everybody can use an extra $400 in their pocket when they're buying a phone without really making any sacrifices. I wish you guys would bring back that Sandstone back, the original OnePlus One. But aside from that, it feels like this is the original vision of OnePlus again.
Yeah, we feel that way. We feel like a Spider-Man movie. We are homecoming.
Yeah.
That's the feeling we got. Like, finally, we tune in. Finally, we got to this good balance. Bring those two devices at the same time. We'll bring that feeling, and we'll serve two different audiences.
Yeah.
Someone that really wants all the specs possible, and someone that wants just what really will work well. So that's how we define. The 12 is like the all-rounded flagship device we can provide, and the 12R is the flagship killer coming back, the real flagship killer coming back. And
you can see it. I mean, so I've had the chance to review from 1 to 12 with some Nords thrown in there, every OnePlus phone. And I think it's always been, it's a great phone, but maybe the screen wasn't great. It was a great phone, but maybe the cameras weren't up to snuff. It was a great phone, but maybe video wasn't where it needed to be. This feels like finally all the buts are gone. Like, this is just a great phone.
Just a great phone.
Just a great phone.
So there are no more buts.
No more buts. No guys, coconuts, nothing.
John just mentioned that OnePlus 12 is a buttless phone.
It is a buttless phone.
How is that possible?
I mean, I'm not going to make a joke on the live stream. You guys made it possible. I'll thank your engineers for no back on it.
And this is how you can tell we can say anything we want.
Yeah, you can say anything you want. But we have to speed up. We have to catch on time here. So another feature that we are excited about, is one of the main features of any device today, and our devices for a long time already are delivering that promise, is about the performance, right? And there's performance. We always talk about gaming. And the 12 has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which is amazing chip. And the 12R has the Gen 2, which is the previous year chipset, right? So, but come on, the Gen 2 can play all the games available on the Play Store. You definitely can play whatever is there and use the max settings and will play smoothly. And Ella, I know you are playing some games, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do some gaming. In particular, I like Genshin Impact.
We have a lot of optimizations with HoYoverse for both devices,
Oh, wow, that's cool. What kind?
Well, it goes from the frame rate mainly, And we have the Trinity engine. There is a lot of on the rendering side and also on the touch. The touch on the screen is super fast. So we also collaborate with HoloVerse to make sure that the FPS sustain for a longer time and high FPS. And also the touch on the screen is way faster than competitors. So when we are playing Genshin Impact, you have like the full experience.
Yeah, that's definitely great and important. And yeah, I mean, I think in general, like both of these are great for gaming. You know, the OnePlus 12 being the flagship device with the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip. You know, it's going to be great. But also like the OnePlus 12R, like if you're looking for a phone for gaming, I think it's a solid choice because you have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which, you know, in the past year, I've like had lots of experience with that, and it's a really fast chip. Like it has no problems with games, and given how, you know, the price point, like I think it's really solid.
It's an amazing price point, right? John, what do you think? What are your thoughts? What are the highlights of the 12 over competitors? What you can highlight on that product?
I mean, so first with the 12R too, if you look at, people always think like when a new chip comes out, it makes the last gen chips like crappy. Like they're still really good chips. I love Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. I was there when they announced it. There's just a ton of headroom in this processor. I mean, for years in this. I think what Qualcomm's done with AI and speed is really impressive. And there's a reason that processor is in pretty much every flagship phone. I mean,
it's super optimized.
Yeah.
Qualcomm does an amazing job, and now they're catching up with competition.
They've done especially seeing the benchmarks of how it compares to the competition, whether it's the Tensor chips or Apple's chips. These are really competitive, really capable processors, and it's nice to see the flagship processor in the flagship killer phone.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Cristiano Amon, my Brazilian friend. Good chip though. So just coming back to our setup here, what I'm going to do now is really, really cool. I'm going to put it together here, the wireless charging competition. So this is the Pixel 8 Pro. I don't know if you guys can show, just make sure. Yeah, this is the Pixel 8 Pro. And we have the Pixel charging stand. If I'm not wrong, should be 20-ish, 25, something like that, charging. I'm going to put it here and probably we start charging. It's well aligned, right? It shows 6% battery.
And I can see the brick that it's plugged into in the back.
Yeah.
It is plugged into the proper
to the right
brick.
one.
Yeah,
Yes, to the right one, guys.
Asking.
And it's 6% battery right now. And here I have the 12, the black version color. I'm going to show like here. Yes. And it's about 2% battery. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's 2% battery. And I'm going to put it here on our charging station. And there's this very nice animation, and we start charging. And we're going to check in some minutes how this will go. But also, I want to do something here on the charging. I have the original charging from the Pixel 8 device. So this is the Pixel 8. And now it has 6% battery. And you can see 6%. Yep. You are the proof.
I'm checking.
Right?
I'm checking the bricks. They're plugged in there. Make sure
it's the right one. It's the right one. It's the Pixel one, right? So I'm gonna leave it here charging. So they start with a little ahead of us. We have the Samsung one, and the Samsung one I'm using an Anchor adapter because they don't send the adapter. We couldn't find the original adapter. I'm so sorry for that, Samsung, but it's your fault. And we have something around 5% battery. 5% battery. I don't know if you can show here, but at least, guys, maybe you can zoom in a little better and see this is 5% battery. I'm going to put it here, charging. There we go. And let me check. This is the 12R, the blue version, which is beautiful version. Has 5% battery as well. I don't know if you can see here, 5% battery. And I'm going to leave it charging right over here. And you're going to check in some minutes how this will play out, okay? And all of them are charging. I hope they charge fast, but I know how this will be. I know exactly how this will be. I just need to show to everyone. That's what I need to do. So let's move on. I think you guys are very much familiar with the performance. And I think you guys watching know the performance is really, really cool. And we did this comparison already with the highlights on performance, right?
Yep.
And you also highlight the gaming part of it, and I think this is amazing. But let's move on our on our live today. And we know like you guys really have your opinion about those two products. And the 12 series has a great combination of performance and price point. And definitely the 12R is really like a punch above its weight class. It's the highlight, in my opinion, of the product. Is for sure all the hardware, but the price is a big thing. And I'd like to show off what these cameras can do. We're going to put on the screen right now. So first I want to go through some of the shot on OnePlus content and hear both of you, hear your thoughts about those pictures. See over there. That picture actually is the New Zealand river that inspired the back pattern you see on the 12.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a picture taken with the device, with the OnePlus 12. And I'd like to hear from you. What do you think about that picture over there?
And the picture looks good.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I see lots of details.
Yeah, it's using zoom, actually.
Oh,
That's a zoom-in picture from the 12. Wow.
I think for now, at like flagship level specs, like a good camera is like you can't not have a good camera. Like if you can have an amazing everything else, if the camera system sucks, all these people are spending hours at their keynote talking just about cameras, right? All of us online, all of our reviews always start with cameras. I think that's almost a place where you have to like start.
Yeah. Cameras is so important, For years, I guess, OnePlus is trying to improve cameras, and the partnership with Hasselblad improved a lot.
Yeah.
On the Hasselblad partnership is more on the software side, so the color science behind, the fine-tuning of the cameras, some of specs that only Hasselblad can do with software. They are helping us a lot, and we are working together, bringing the best hardware possible in the market, the sensors, the lens, everything. But at the same time, Hasselblad comes and say, this is the right color tuning, this is the right color science behind, this is the right way to do exposure. So it's a real partnership working, and we can see the outcome right now in the 12R. I think we're in the pinnacle of that partnership. We can see how the cameras are improved. And I think we have a new one, right? What is the next one, the next picture? Yeah, that's a good one. You see, like, this is a picture, and I think they're going to zoom in. They're going to change to the zoom picture. That's the next one. And they zoom in again. And you still have a lot of details every time you zoom in. You see the colors?
yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. They're saturated colors without being oversaturated. I know that's probably where the Hasselblad side comes in, right? Known for all their medium format glory. But you see some phones, they'll oversaturate the colors to make them brighter and pop for social media. And you've got kind of Apple takes the opposite approach to kind of flatten their image. It seems like a middle ground.
Yeah, that's the idea. Because Hasselblad knows about color science.
Yeah.
They definitely know. They are the first one to take a picture, make a camera go to the moon and take a picture of Earth from the moon. That was done with a Hasselblad camera. So
it's tough. If you take a picture of like a blue sky and you look at it on your phone, depending on which phone, either the blue looks like nuts blue or it looks muted. It doesn't often look like you actually
see it, right? Yeah.
That color science is hard, and people tend to like the higher contrasty kind of images anyway. So it's nice to see that middle ground.
It's a good balance and definitely is working. We have a next one is the X-Pen. X-Pen is something that only Hasselblad has it. And when they used to put like two parts of the film together, so they make like one picture that is really wide. And you can take advantage of that on the 12 device because we have that feature also available with the partnership of Hasselblad. So again, like the partnership goes way extended on those things that only the quality of the picture, but also some features that Hasselblad can do in their cameras. We also incorporate in our product with the partnership, which is great. So it's truly amazing what those phone cameras can do, right? But for more shot on OnePlus, you can just look for the hashtag. And those contents, just make sure that you are following us so you can have access to those contents. We are putting those pictures on Instagram. You can check for yourself at OnePlus_USA. And quick reminder, the OnePlus 12 has a 50 megapixel main camera and a 64 megapixel 3x zoom lens, 3x zoom lens, and 48 megapixel ultra wide camera. So all cameras are top-notch cameras, state-of-art cameras right now available, state-of-art hardware available in the market right now.
Yeah.
And I guess you are having experiences with the cameras, right, Ella?
Yeah. Yes.
What is your experience so far?
Of course. Like when I first saw the camera specs, I was really shocked, especially by the high megapixel count for the ultra wide. But also like right now I see, and of course like the telephoto as well. So and actually, right now I see like I can do 3x and 6x. So is the 6x like how's the quality of that?
The 6x, it's really, really amazing because there's pixel binding, right, when we're doing zoom. So the 3x is the optical zoom, and the 6x we call lossless zoom. So it's like cropping, but not really cropping because we are using the pixels to combine the image. So it's really amazing the way it's done. So you can do the 6x. That's why we put the option on the screen for 6x. You go straight and you don't feel any degradation of the image. Like the image is still with super quality at 6x.
Were some of the images that you showed previously, like was there 6x?
Yeah, like remember there's the river and the bridges, two bridges. Yeah, so the first one was 1x, the second one was 3x, the third one was 6x. That's why the quality and the details is still there. It's amazing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really great that like basically all of these different focal lengths is high quality, because then you can like switch between them, get different perspectives, but you're not really sacrificing the quality, which is pretty rare. Like not a lot of phones can do that. So I think that's great.
Yeah, I think we have a portrait picture, right? Can we put that on the screen? Yes, correct. Look at that. It's a portrait, but not from a person.
It's not a self-portrait.
It's not a selfie portrait, yeah. Definitely. But it's quite amazing, right? Look at that. Look, the cutout and the natural kind of blur. This is also, Hasselblad is helping a lot on that, to set up the right kind of blur you have to have in a portrait. And it's quite amazing. Even in low light conditions, you can have that. Even with the zoom camera, in low light conditions, you can have that, which is crazy. And we were talking the other day about this, right?
Yeah. So first of all, it's nice to have an explanation of what Hasselblad is doing. I know a lot of people see it and they think, it's just like a marketing thing to make people think the camera's better. I can attest to the cutout ability, by the way, on the selfies and the portraits. That is outstanding. Usually with hair, especially, you get kind of things like cut out. My wife and daughter have curly hair, so usually that's been like the bane of existence.
That's challenging.
The bane of existence for those. It did a really good job actually going through the hair. I use my camera differently. I'm a dad. I got a couple kids. They're out playing sports. So I use the zoom more than most people do, and I know people like to, push back on me online for focusing on the zoom camera. Having 6x is really nice. That is where most of my photos, sadly, are being taken.
6x.
I mean, I'm zooming. I would go more digital if I could. But to get pictures of my kids, playing baseball and running, that matters, and I want those pictures to be good. I get one shot to get a picture of the home run. I get one shot to get a picture of catching a fly ball. I don't want to miss it, and I don't want to have to pinch and zoom to get it. And like I said at the beginning of this, was you just don't want to think about your cameras. And I think in years past, you had to think about them a little bit with OnePlus. You don't have to think about the cameras. And that includes video too. And I mean that in like the best possible compliment, is that whether you want a wide, ultra-wide zoom, you want a selfie, you want a portrait selfie, you want a portrait of a goat, whatever you want to take a picture of or shoot a video of, it's good. And you don't have to think about the camera.
And that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Don't think about it. Just use it. You're going to have the best experience.
Just take it out, snap.
Yeah, that's like the ultra-wide camera, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's when you get a flagship phone, like that's your expectation, right? It should do all those things. And the 12 does do all of those things.
Yeah, and you just mentioned the ultra-wide camera. So, for me, I feel like I'm almost the opposite of you. You use the zoom. I actually use the ultra-wide often. I like just taking scenery, and ultra-wide is a cool perspective. Like, you see everything. But also, like, ultra-wide is kind of like a trendy perspective almost. I feel like if you scroll on Instagram, like lots of ultra-wide selfies like this.
Yeah. Your body look like, like 10 feet long, like with the ultra-wide.
Yeah, but I kind of like that. So it's great that like this is a high megapixel ultra-wide. It's like 64, right?
64 for the zoom and 48 for the ultra-wide. Yeah. But it's 48 still like a high count for ultra-wide. Like having this definitely. Level of detail is amazing.
Especially since like, many other phones, it's just a 12 megapixel one.
Yeah, I love to use the ultra-wide when you're going to take like a detail picture, but I want to, put something else on the frame. And then you approach the ultra-wide camera, and with 48 megapixel, you have all the details until the last very far kind of things you are framing. So that's amazing. We have to move on from cameras.
Sure.
Let's go for the next one. We have a few more features that I want to discuss before I let you turn the tables to me and ask a few questions. So new to OnePlus devices is the Aqua Touch technology.
Yes.
I'm going to put my glasses back. This is a cool moment, though. This is one of those things that you take it for granted. When a product has a problem, a device or an industry has a problem, and we don't think it's a problem until someone tells you, this is a problem. And you didn't notice, right? And that's what happens when you have the screen wet with droplets of water, whatever. Sometimes you are at the bathroom, like me, shaving, and then my daughter sent me a message. I want to reply. Some drops get on the screen and get like messy, and the message doesn't go through as it should. And I get really pissed off with that sometimes. Or sometimes it's raining or just, like pouring rain, and we have this misty on the screen, and as the droplets run on the screen, get all confused. And we have a video, right? Can we show the video? Because that video is so cool. Can you guys, I think they're going to play the video. Are you ready to play the video? Yeah. So this is a machine we made to simulate the water on the devices. We have two devices on the screen. On the left, you have the OnePlus 12. On the right, you have a very high-end, very expensive iPhone 15 Pro Max. And we're just showing with the water hitting the screen and those, hundreds, sometimes thousands of droplets running the screen, it's really challenging to complete simple tasks. And when this happened to us, we don't think this is a problem. We think, just water. But actually, we develop a chip, dedicated hardware, just to know exactly when are the droplets, when it's your finger, to not overload the system or consume too much battery, trying to figure out what is a droplet running on the screen or what is your finger really trying to make an action. So those are very simple actions, and see how our competitor really struggle to get there. And we never thought this was a problem. We just think this is like normal, it's water, but now we solve the problem. So now we have this advantage, and a lot of people I know that have been in that situation somehow. I bet both of you have been there. And this is amazing, right? You see right away like how those things interact. It's amazing technology. So what do you think about that? What do you think about Aqua Touch? John?
It doesn't rain that often. It doesn't rain nearly enough where I live. I haven't experienced those issues very much. But I imagine for folks that live where it rains, where there's a lot of moisture in the air, it's a real concern. I'm not taking my phone in the shower, so to speak. But I'm sure there are folks who do, that maybe would use that probably more often than I would.
Yeah, I mean, I've certainly had issues where like it's raining and then I can't touch the phone. And like you said before, like I kind of just thought that was normal, I just accepted it. But no, like it's great knowing that it can be resolved. And actually, right like now I'm in LA, but there was once upon a time where I lived in Vancouver and it rains a lot there. Yeah.
Vancouver, right? I think I know a little bit of Vancouver weather. I have some friends living there. They always complain about that.
Yeah, like if you're walking in the rain and it's like all of a sudden starts pouring, your phone is like all wet. You can still touch the screen just fine. And actually, what's the IP rating for these phones? That's
a good question. We have IP65 for the 12 and IP64 for the 12R. So like 12R is splash proof all the way. You can even wash your product if you want, both of them. And the 12 is up to the water jets on it. And we just saw the 12 with the water jets going over, so it's pretty fine on that direction. I think that's really good, right? It's still not the 68, but if you really want to swim your phone, well, that's not the right phone for you.
That was going to be my question, actually, was if you look at the spec sheet and something that might be missing, it's IP68. So why no IP68?
Oh, that's a very good question. Actually, this will impact a lot on the cost. And when you say cost on this kind of spec, some people think, but it's just some rubbers here and there. Oh, just some isolation or insulation that I have to do to avoid the water to get in. No, that's really cheap. We're talking about cents. The problem is every time we do IP rating, if you are a good company and you are doing the quality assurance checking on your products, you should run the IP checking in all products you manufacture to make sure they are waterproof from the factory. And that adds a lot of timing on testing. And that's where the cost really goes up. So yes, we are improving that as the mass manufacture, mass production of products with that kind of feature becomes more easy and faster to do those kinds of checks. These will be implemented. Right now, those IP is the best balance between good cost and good water protection.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to move on. Those are all the questions I have for you guys. Pretty much, I know you're going to be making questions to me. But before we move there, I want to go to the promotions. So we have a lot of promotions right now. The pre-order is open, guys, for both devices. We also have the new buds. They are here with me. Those buds are crazy, beautiful. And, well, later we can talk more about the buds, but we have on the screen the promotions. So let me go through it a little bit. So we have this crazy thing. If the camera can come to me now, this will be one of the best moments. I'm going to put my glasses. Again, go back to camera. Go back to me. I'm putting my glasses now because, guys, do you remember during the open, this device here, which is the foldable that I have, we had this promotion, this crazy promotion that you could trade in any phone,
right? Yeah.
Any condition.
Anything?
Any phone, any condition. I don't care which kind of phone you have. I don't care if the phone is broken, if the phone don't have a battery, if it's the old Nokia having dust on your garage. Any phone, any condition.
What is that a landline?
Well, I have one here. You can trade this one, this very phone here. You can trade this phone and get $100 off for 12 or 12R. So go and trade your grandma's phone. Make sure she's still not taking care of that because she may love it. First. She may love it. Talk to her first. But yes, trade any phone in any condition, and we're gonna guarantee to you $100 off for the OnePlus 12 and 12R. The pre-order is open now, so we can go back to the pre-order screen, guys. You can save up to, actually, we have trade-ins not only $100. That's where you start. Our trade-in for the 12 can go up to $700. So it depends on which phone you got. We are doing a bundle of 50 watts wireless charger, that charge station here, for free. So it's a limited quantity, first come, first serve. So guys, please run and get yours on the pre-order moment. We also are doing the free storage upgrade. So from 256 to 512, same price of the 256, which is crazy. All those things together. You can do 12 months, 0 APR. You can do 6 months, Google One, 100 gigabytes is included. 3 months of YouTube Premium. So it's a whole package for the 12. And the 12R, also $100, trading any phone in condition. So a phone that was originally on the 12, $799 will go to $699 with that promotion. So we guarantee that. Just get any phone around you and trade in. And the same thing for the 12R. A phone that is $499 will go down to $399, which is crazy for a phone like this. $399, yeah. It's crazy. We can pre-order right now the 12R as well, and the trade-ins are up to $450. So depends on the phone you have. There is again 6 months 0 APR, 6 months Google One, 100 gigabytes, 3 months YouTube Premium, and also for that device on the 16256 variant, we have the student program with 10% off above all, which is like way more. So if you are a student, you can take advantage of that. Have in mind, you can find those products on oneplus.com, but also it's available on Amazon. So you can go to Amazon and they have different kind of promotions in the same direction. Not the same I said here, but you can go and check. And Best Buy, and we are expanding our presence with Best Buy. Huge shout out to Nick from Best Buy. Over there with Best Buy, we're going now for the first time to all stores in US and Canada. All stores on US and Canada on Best Buy, you're going to find 12 and 12R as also online on bestbuy.com, which is crazy, right? Yeah. It's good to do this kind of things. It's the first time we are doing.
So you can get this from lots of different places.
Finally, right? Yeah. Like you can find anywhere. That's the idea. Okay, so now is the fun part. Each of you going to ask me questions. So let's start with Ella. Ella, go ahead.
All right, so actually I had this question, but I think you partially answered it earlier, and that was what's the inspiration behind the design of the OnePlus 12? Because I see like there's, these patterns almost. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. Maybe the camera can see.
Maybe the camera show, yes.
Yeah, and then like if I slightly shift the phone, it kind of changes. So I think you mentioned earlier it's from the river in New Zealand.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah.
We call it Flowly Emerald. It's a beautiful design. I think our designers make it really beautiful. I personally, when I see for the first time, I said, "Oh, is that the final product?" It's like they're really going that direction.
Yeah.
Looks like a cutting board, though. So I was making some jokes about it, but actually, when you look at and all the details on it and the inspiration from the nature, right?
Yeah.
We have these on the products for a long time already. I think they make it really right. This green around it with that pattern make the product so unique. So you can recognize by far, like that's the 12. It's quite beautiful.
Yeah. Especially like when it shifts in the light. I think this is a phone that's worth trying to use it caseless because, I mean, like this design is really nice.
And no fingerprints.
Yeah, the texture is nice too.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. Actually, I noticed like for the 12R, it's a different one. Why?
But we have also the black version for the 12R, which is this one. And this one is totally different feel.
Yeah.
It's totally different feeling. So if you want the glossy on the blue, you can have it. And we compare the blue with the new buds we have. Those buds are $99 and they have ANC, true wireless. They're amazing. Even the colors, we make sure they match with the device. Look at that. It's really cool, right? So the buds are here. It's the Buds 3. Then you guys can check later more information about it. And that's the black one. And the black one has this silk finishing in the back, like feels like silk. It's really nice as well, nice to the touch.
Yeah.
So it depends what you're looking for. You want the glossy blue one, or you want something that, no fingerprints, no smudges on the back part. You have the black version for that, for the 12R.
Yeah, I really like the black one. Wow. Yeah, no fingerprints.
No fingerprints. No fingerprints. What about you?
All right, so I'm going to be dramatic. We had to submit some questions maybe beforehand and give you an idea. I'm going to take those questions. I'm going to throw them away. And I'm going to ask questions.
Oh, no. See? Danger zone.
Right here. You and me.
Oh, my God.
So.
Come on, John.
The questions people are going to have, questions I have. So I was going to ask you about IP68, but we did that first. I had, last year, an iPhone 14 Pro Max. It was a great phone. 8 months in, my battery life degraded to about 80%. And it got worse from there. We're talking phones now that charge at 50 watts wireless, 80 watts plugged in. I think people are going to be concerned about battery life degradation, right? There's heat happening, no matter how many fans there are. What can people expect from the battery life degradation with the OnePlus 12 and 12R?
That's a very good question, man. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that. I really thank you for that.
This is not a question brought up in rehearsal.
Yeah.
I can...
Yeah, so actually, it's a good moment to check it before I answer.
Yeah.
Let's see how the battery is doing. Let's see here. Right now, this one is not charging. Oh, it wasn't charging. Oh, I totally lose that one. I'm sorry. So this one is charging. Yes, this is 43, but usually this should be next to 100. But for some reason, I think we disconnected. Damn. And here, but we check the other ones, and we have here 72% on the OnePlus.
And that was up from like 2%.
Yeah, from 2% to 72% in the time being we are talking here.
And I remember we started at 940 when you plugged those in.
It's 53% on the S23 FE right now. I don't know if you guys can see it, that 53% up here. And again, just showing here, 72% here. And on the Pixel 8, let's see how much is that? 53% on the Pixel 8. So that's the difference we are talking about. Yeah, it goes really fast, really fast. So, and they're saying, the other devices are saying they need more than an hour to finish. And right now is ultra fast charging. This would be probably 10 or 15 minutes to finish on the OnePlus. So that's the huge difference we are talking about. So, going back to your question, we put a lot of things inside the battery itself. Each, are two different cell batteries. They are like one next to the other. And again, on Jerry Riggs Everything video, Zach, he did a great job of the video, I believe.
Zach always does a good
job.
He's
an amazing guy, amazing person, amazing human being. And I'm really happy we are collaborating with him this time so he can show the internals of the product. And he put a lot of emphasis on the vapor chamber. And the vapor chamber, it's huge, like I mentioned, but it works in different ways. Like when you are charging, and the battery got really hot, especially for doing those fast charging. So the thing that avoid those battery degradations is keep the temperature acceptable. That's why when start to charging really fast on the devices, they got really hot. But if you can control that temperature and make it lower, so then you can make that battery last longer. The same thing for the base here. With the fan kicking in, what's going to happen is the air movement on the back here will work in a way that not only the vapor chamber, but also this extra cooling system will make that product not that hot. So the battery will not be exposed to high temperature. And doing that, the battery will last way longer than our competitors. So putting that vapor chamber on those devices, and they are right between the screen and the motherboard and the battery. So all of them, we made in a way that all of them touch the vapor chamber. So take advantage of that and spread the heat to other areas. So it make it faster as well. We keep like 13 degrees Celsius. I don't know how much is Fahrenheit. I'm sorry for that. Bad math here, but it's a lot. 13 Celsius is a lot that can control in a device like this. So yes, we put a lot of sensors as well. There's AI as well taking care of the batteries. There is a lot of things considering when we are sleeping, and you get the patterns when you're going sleeping. You will not charge that fast because you leave every night to charge, so you charge lower and save the battery charging not being used in that time. So those things are all there.
So people shouldn't have to worry. I mean, even when I was setting up my iPhone 15 Pro Max, out of the box, I got a heat warning on it just during setup. So I'm very aware of the heat issues people have when you're charging it that fast. It seemed like a reasonable question. All right, next one's a bit easier.
Okay.
There's a lot of phones in the market, and there's a lot of really good phones in the market, right? Who is this for? Like, who should buy this? Who's the buyer who's like, this? I want to come back to OnePlus. I want to try OnePlus for the first time. I want to switch to OnePlus. Like, who are you guys targeting?
We have a lot of conversations about target audience, right? And we are selling those devices in North America. We should know the people who want to buy it. Like I mentioned before, now we're going to approach that topic since you bring the question. We brought those two devices, and for some time we were bringing just one device. Yeah. Now we brought two devices. Why we brought two devices? Why we say it's a two flagship strategy? Why we're bringing two flagships at the same time? The thing is, number one, we are looking for the tech audience. Those guys who are early adopters. 12 is made for that. If you want all-rounded flagship device in the market, but not killing your wallet, not pointing again to our wallet and taken completely, that's where 12 goes. You have everything on that product. It will not disappoint you in any sense, on any direction. It will be a product that you're going to love to have, and if you're very techy, you're going to understand the hardware and the technology inside, and you're going to appreciate what we did on that product. If you're still being a tech guy, but you're not that deep, but you like to see some tech stuff, and you may play games, but not that much. You may use camera, but not that much. Your thing is just the device itself. Yeah. And having this screen and the vapor chamber, huge like that, the 12R at the price point it's unbeatable. With the $100 trade-in, any phone in condition, because everybody can do it. Come on. That's something, I guess, everybody can do it. So you can put it down to $399. Yeah. And $399, a device with the, Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, that vapor chamber is super expensive, that screen, 50 megapixel camera, super fast, super smooth, 5,500 milliampere battery, fast charging, 80 watts. So like if you have like the main, most important box to check, they're there. So that device is for someone who really can afford a product that is beyond the $500. And you want the best possible deal you can have for the best spec possible available. And that one, 12R, is unbeatable by price and spec in the North American market right now.
Fair enough. I'm like my kids. I could ask questions forever, but I'll end it there in the interest.
We can keep talking. Yeah. Okay, we need to move on. Thank you for insightful questions. It was really, really nice of you with those questions. And now we have this kind of the talking about. What they put in here in the teleprompter is really like crazy, right? For this compare analysis section, I'm going to let you guys do most of the talking so our lawyers don't get mad at me. You did already, but that charging race we just checked as well, so we're moving on. So we have seen how they compare charging-wise and those things about the battery size and the speed of charging. Those things are all important. But do you have any comparisons on contrasts you want to talk about the 12 series, the 12 and 12R? Something you see different that, grabs your eye? You want to comment?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, it's the curved screen because, the phones that I'm familiar with, iPhone and Samsung phone, this year, the iPhone has a flat screen.
Flat.
The S24, the new S24 has a flat screen, and even the S24 Ultra basically has a flat screen too now. So, this curved screen is different, and I've said this in my videos before, but I personally do prefer a flat screen over a curved screen, just because sometimes there can be a bit of distortion on the sides of the curved screens. However, on the other side, it does feel slightly better in the hand. It's very smooth. So just how do you feel about curved
that's a huge debate because there is a preference, right? Mm-hmm. We have the OnePlus Open. It's really flat screen, right? Yeah. The Open is completely flat. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a matter of preference, what you really like. But one thing that we call this kind of devices, those are the foldable, right? The Open is the foldable device.
Yeah.
You can fold. And that's what we call candy bar form factor, which is kind of funny, right? To call it candy bar, because it looks like a candy bar, right? If you got a chocolate bar. So the candy bar form factor, number one, we want to make it very comfortable in your hand. So we have this old saying on design, form follows function. Yeah. So the back of it being curved, you feel really good on your hands. You don't feel tired, don't feel annoying, it's just natural. On the screen side of it, the idea is to have this immersion on the image. So there is some curvedness on the front screen, but it's not that much. It's just a little. And when you are doing Instagram or Facebook or you're watching videos, you are not losing the content. The content you can see completely, but you have this feeling of infinite content. It goes really, there's no borders. That's the feeling you got. The image is complete. So it's not that much curve. It's just enough to have that feeling, that visual feeling when you are using the device and consuming content.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I'm also on team flat, but the curves are not as pronounced as people expect when they see a curved screen. I haven't had a chance to check out the 12R nearly as much as I would like to say, but I have used this one a lot. And the thing that stood out to me the most was, and I talked about it earlier, was using it in direct sunlight. Being able to actually see the screen on a bright Southern California day was really awesome. And I think the 4500 nits is something, again, people aren't going to think about. But having had the opportunity to use, the other flagships out there, I really noticed.
You noticed. You definitely, right?
It's hard not to notice that. Just being able to see the screen. And again, people won't think about it. You're not going to get the 4500, like you said, every time you use the phone. But there are times when you need it and the pixels can push it. That was a huge thing. And I think when people are out in the summer using this phone, they're going to appreciate being able to have it.
They definitely can use out in the summer because with the vapor chamber, we'll really, hold it up, no matter what you're doing. Yeah. So
if it can handle, 80-watt charging and not get hot, taking pictures in the summer should be no
piece of cake, though.
Piece of cake. Hassle.
You can be on the Brazilian beach, like Ipanema. I can picture myself there and taking pictures, being a little bit careful for people not robbing me, but that's a different discussion. I know Brazil very well. So, there you have it, folks. That's how the 12 series stacks up to other flagships. I think that's a good point. You guys brought it up. And now let's go back to our charging demo. But to be honest, right now it's 69% for the S23 FE. And I don't know if you guys can see it. It's 70% on the Pixel 8. And let me see how 94% on the OnePlus. Look at that, 94%. I don't know if you guys can see it, but they saw it. They are the proof this is happening.
Yep.
Let's move on. Let's hear from the community. I think we have some questions. They are preparing some questions. Keep dropping your questions, guys. Everybody on the live stream right now, put your questions on the chat and we will answer them. So let me see if there's any question here. They should update me on the questions, but sometimes it doesn't happen the technology the way it should.
To folks watching, tell me in the live stream too, if I'm alone on being Team Zoom or you're with Ella on ultrawide. I know I'm going to lose that one, but any of my Zoom fans out there, at least let me know. Let me know I'm not flying solo here.
Not flying solo at all, and I'm trying to get my questions. It's just not happening right now. And I'm doing my best, I promise.
Oh, I can keep firing questions at you.
So you can do that. You definitely can do that.
Keep lobbing them at you as we go. Can I do that?
Yeah, so just go ahead.
All right. So over the years, from the OnePlus One to here, you guys have gone back and forth, like flagship processors, not flagship processors, and like 2 years one and 2 years not the other. Is this like the new direction that we can expect from OnePlus? Like the flagship killer is here to stay for generations?
Yeah,
okay.
like it's like the RAM, right? We pack like 16 gigabyte of RAM.
Yeah.
Who needs 16 gigabyte of RAM right now? It's not really something people need, right? But you think about a different philosophy of future-proof.
Yeah.
So 4 years from now, that processor, that 16 gigabyte of RAM, apps will get heavier, and they will not get heavier on this device. They still snappy, still smooth. That's the idea behind it. So yes, like those processors are improving. They're going to keep improving along the years. And I think the better they get, the whole combination of all the other hardware around will get better as well. And you have to keep it up. You cannot hold back.
Yeah, but we can expect OnePlus to keep kind of flagship killing for generations.
Yeah, flagship killing is a mantra. We have to do it. No other way. And we have a question here. We have a question from, it's really hard to tell the names of someone that's from YouTube. WVURX-Man. Is that you, man? Okay. Did they say that carriers in US, this is going to be available? No, it's not available on carriers. We have a different philosophy this time. We try to bring you without any kind of locked devices. All devices are unlocked. That's why you can buy on Amazon, Best Buy, and our website, oneplus.com. So the idea is bringing the best possible price to you, not playing the carriers games right now. We are going to deliver to you the best possible price we can, without any kind of locking on the phone. The phones are fully unlocked. You can use in any carriers. And have in mind that we make it work for all the carriers in US, the major carriers we tested, when we did homologation and everything on that, so they are working perfectly. The same for Canada. All carriers in Canada also will work pretty fine.
There's also a SIM card on the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
So for those of you that switch phones a lot like I do.
Dual.
eSIMs
Dual.
are not always been the best.
Dual SIM card.
Dual SIMs on it, so it'll make switching a lot easier.
Pretty much. And then we have a new question here from Zone for Short. We have to be very careful with those names. Sometimes, they play tricks with names. Live stream, So the 12R is a good upgrade from a 9, right? Correct.
Yeah.
If you have an 8, a 9, even a 10, I think going to the 12R is the right thing to do, though. But if you have like the 11, the 12 is the natural progression of it. If you have the 10 Pro, the 12 also is the best upgrade you can do. If you have our competitors, any of them, just go. You pick. You pick which one. It's perfect for you. If you compare the 12R to the Pixel 8 or 7 or 7A, and probably in the future the 8A, the price band is where they are positioned, and we kind of beat on battery size, charging. We beat on the processor we are using. We are beating on the screen. We're beating so many areas and make it cheaper than the Pixel. So this is one direction we are taking to be a real flagship killer. The same for the Samsung devices. When you look to the 12 and you go to the new S24, they just launched. You're going to see the price-wise, what we are delivering on specs and software and hardware is way above the competition. So I really encourage all of you to go and do the comparison, do the matching on the specs, and check the price. And you're going to see how good it is, the 12, when you compare to the new S24. Okay, there we go. Marvelous is another question here. How long for software support updates? That's a good question, right?
Yeah.
You missed that one.
That was a miss.
You missed that one. Well, that's a good one. We have this 4 years upgrade on the 12. and 5 years of security upgrades. So we refresh the OS, so the flavor of OS, for 4 times, 4 years, and then we keep another year with security updates after that. And for the 12R is 3 and 4, 3 years and 4 years. Okay. Another question from Heihin Kausi. At this point in cell phone history, do specs really matter? It does matter. It has to matter. Do you think you can run everything today you have in apps in a phone of 10 years ago? Definitely not. And actually, if you look back like 4 years ago, when we talk about 8 gigabyte RAM, we talk as the highest spec. And now is the base spec. And it's not a base spec because the industry are making that affordable. It's because you need it. The apps are requesting way more of the hardware. There's always a battle between the software requesting more power from the hardware and what the software can do when we enable more hardware to the software. So developers, they are always struggling with that. If I have more battery power, if I have more processing power, if I have more RAM, I can do better apps. And that's how it works.
I think that question's alluding to, like, every phone is some version of good nowadays, right? You have to look to find a bad phone. And I don't think every spec matters, but I do think the right specs matter. And if you're going to keep your phone for longer than a year, RAM matters a huge amount, or maybe 2 years. RAM starts to matter. And then what matters to you next? Does the camera matter to you? Does the screen matter to you? You can kind of pick and choose the specs that matter.
Yeah, also a bigger battery, right?
Yeah.
If you have a bigger battery, it will last longer.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, I also definitely think the spec matters. And when I go to, like, evaluate phones, that's kind of the starting point. And of course, like, specs aren't everything. And I think you want, like, a good balance. So that's like we kind of have to look at the bigger picture. But, it's definitely, like, kind of where I start to evaluate phones.
Well, the conversation has been amazing. You both are delivering, but we are getting almost to the end right now. We all know what you are waiting. You are waiting to hear
the winners.
Who won those devices, the giveaways we have. I know we are reaching very end of our live streaming. That's the time we're going to get there. But first, let's go over our pre-order promotions one more time. So let me bring here all the promotions we have. Ooh, I think you can put on the screen, right? Yeah. So we have the 12 with the trade-in, any phone, any condition for $100 off. The same applies to the 12R, so you can do that. And we have those bundles for the 12 with the wireless charge station for free right now, free upgraded memory. So instead of 256, you're going to have 512 for the price of 256. That's limited quantity, limited time. You're going to find this on OnePlus.com. 12R also have all those benefits, very similar benefits, which is great. Those things of the trading, any phone $100 for the lifetime. So while we are selling those products, you're going to have that promotion. You don't need to run for that. But the things we're doing in the pre-order, they are limited. Pay attention to that. It's right on the screen for you. And have in mind, you can also buy on Amazon and Best Buy. They have their own promotions. You can go to their websites and check. What we are showing here is only for OnePlus.com. And before we wrap up this OnePlus 12 Series Table Talk, let's select our winners. Drum roll, please. Now, someone has to tell me here who are the winners. Daniel B for the 12R blue one. So you got the blue. Daniel B got the blue. Who else? Oh, come on. This is hard to say, though. we have someone call it swag something. He got what? What he got? So they got the gray 12R. Okay, the gray 12R is this one here. So you got this one, swag. We know who you are. We are communicating with you on the chat. So you got this one. So what is the next one? OGPA. Got the 12 Flow Emerald, this beautiful device right here in my hand. And after the streaming, we're going to give away the last one, so keep tuned for that. And, well, we'll contact you on the DMs, guys. So even if you're not here on the live stream right now, we're going to send a message and we're going to send your prize to your location, wherever you are in the United States. And thank you all for participating today and following us on all social media. And that's for all for our OnePlus 12 Series Table Talk. thanks to our great guests and panelists here.
Thank you.
I have to give a hand
Thanks
for you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for you. You can say goodbye now to everyone. Just say it.
Goodbye.
Thank you for rolling with my...
Thanks for tuning in. I think we had a great chat.
Yeah.
Hope it was entertaining for you guys watching as well.
Thanks for rolling with some of my tough questions. Thank you to everybody out there for tuning in. Thank you for having us.
And for those watching live right now, check our promotional offers, just like I mentioned. They are all on OnePlus.com. They are all for the new OnePlus 12 series. And don't forget to connect with us on Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. And as always, never settle.